For today's lesson, we will be solving problems involving fractions and decimals, and we'll be using the skills that we've worked on this chapter in order to solve those problems. So our two standards on dividing fractions and multiplying and dividing decimals will be addressed once again in this section. So as we start out here, our first example problem, at a supermarket, a pound of almonds costs $3.90. If Jen wants to buy 4.5 pounds of almonds, how much will she have to pay? Well, one strategy that we could use in this situation is to solve a simpler problem. So instead of a pound of almonds costing $3.90, we could say it costs $4. Instead of having 4.5 pounds, we could say that she has 5 pounds. So if a pound costs $4 and she wants to buy 5 pounds, she would spend $20, which is 4 times 5. Well, we're not spending $4, we're spending $3.90. So we're going to take $3.90, which is the cost, and we're going to multiply it by the number of pounds, which we don't have 5. We have 4.5, so we're going to multiply those together. 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 9 is 45, 5 times 3 is 15, plus 4 is 19. We're going to start the second line with a 0. 4 times 0 is 0, 4 times 9 is 36. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 3 is 15. We're going to add those together. 0 plus 0 is 0. 5 plus 0 is 5. 9 plus 6 is 15. 1 plus 1 is 2. Plus 15 is 17. There are 2 digits after the decimal point here. 1 digit here for a total of 3. And since it says how much will she have to pay, we're dealing with money. Money goes to the hundredths, so our answer is going to be $17.55. Excuse me. So our next problem here, the cost of carpeting a square yard is $8.60. How much does it cost to carpet 9.7 square yards? So this is essentially the same situation, except now instead of buying a pound of almonds, we're buying square yards of carpeting. And so if we look back, we would say, well, we took the cost times how much we bought, which is exactly what we would do here. We would take the cost of $8.60 times how much we bought. Now we could solve that simpler problem once again. $8.60, that's essentially $9. 9.7 square yards is 10. 9 times 10 is 90, so we're looking at an answer close to 90. 7 times 0 is 0. 7 times 6 is 42. 7 times 8 is 56, plus 4 is 60. Start the second line with a 0. 9 times 0 is 0. 9 times 6 is 54. 9 times 8 is 72, plus 5 is 77. Add those together. 0, 2, 4. 6 plus 7 is 13. 1 plus 7 is 8. 2 digits here. 1 digit here for a total of 3. And once again, we're dealing with money, so our answer is going to be $83.42. Excuse me. So in our second example here, a caterer sliced 6.5 ounces of cheese into pieces that weighed 0.5 ounces each. How many pieces of cheese did the caterer slice? So here we're taking a large item and breaking it down into smaller equal-sized pieces, and that tells us we need to divide. So we take what we start with and divide it by the size pieces that we want. Move the decimal point to the end of the divisor, move the decimal point the same number of places in the dividend. We're now essentially taking 65 divided by 5. 5 goes into 6 once. 5 goes into 15 3 times. And so our answer is 13 pieces. And we can use that to help us with this one. But this time, instead of 6.5 ounces of cheese, we have 12 meters of cloth. Instead of breaking it down into 0.5 ounce pieces, we're breaking it down into 0.75 meter lengths. So instead of taking 6.5 divided by 0.5, we're going to start by taking 12 divided by 75 hundredths. So we could do the long division. Move decimal point twice, so we got to move our decimal point twice. 75 goes into 120 once. 75, 120 minus 75 is 45. 7 would go into 45 6 times, and 6 times 75 is 450. And of course, another way we could do this is with a fraction, because when you see 75 hundredths, hopefully you realize that 75 hundredths is equivalent to 3/4. So you could have 12 over 1 times 4 over 3. Do some simplifying here. 4 times 4 is 16. So either way we do this one, we would get an answer of 16 pieces. And we can use what we did there to help us with these two. Rosie buys 2.24 pounds of sliced ham. She uses 0.16 pounds for a sandwich. How many sandwiches can Rosie make? Well, we're taking all that ham she bought and we're dividing it into those smaller equal sized pieces. Move a decimal point to the end of our divisor, move the same number of places in our dividend. So 16 is going into 224, goes into 22 once, goes into 64 4 times, and Rosie would be able to make 14 sandwiches. Excuse me. And number 4 is essentially the same thing. $12.75 divided by 85 cents. Move it to the end of our divisor, move it to the same number of places in our dividend. So 85 goes into 1,275. 85 goes into 127 once. 8 would go into 42 5 times. So our answer would be 15 souvenirs. Chris works at a bakery. He bakes 14 loaves of banana bread. He sells 8 whole loaves to customers. He then cuts the remaining loaves into slices so he can sell the slices to customers. If each slice is 1/7 of a loaf, how many slices can Chris sell? Well, he starts with 14 and then he sells 8. So those 8 loaves are gone, which leaves him with 6. So we have to take that into consideration that he sells 8 whole loaves. Those 8 whole loaves, they're gone. And then a very important word is right here, remaining. So it says he then cuts the remaining loaves. Those remaining loaves would be the 6 that we got. If we're cutting them, that means we're going to break them down into smaller pieces. That tells us we're going to divide, and we're going to divide by 1/7. So we follow our rules. We keep the first number the same, change division to multiplication, use the reciprocal of the second number. 6 times 7 is 42. So that would be 42 slices. Paper artist uses 18 paper rectangles for a collage. He uses 6 of them for the border of the artwork. He then cuts the remaining paper rectangles into equal strips, each 1/4 of a paper rectangle. So just like before, we're going to take what we start with. We're going to get rid of those 6 because those are gone. They're being used on the border. He then cuts the remaining. Well, the remaining would be 12. And we would divide that by 1/4. So that would essentially become 12 times 4. And 12 times 4 is 48. And it would be 48 strips because the question says how many strips. And then our final one for today, Sophie buys a roll of string that's 20 meters long. She uses 3 meters of string to tie a parcel. She then cuts the remaining string into equal pieces, each 1/2 meter long. So 20 minus 3 is 17. So the remaining that is being cut, keep times turn, 17 times 2 is 34. And there's today's lesson. As always, I hope this helps.